Welcome everyone. Today we'll have a weekly update video for Lost Ark. In this video, we'll have a look at the latest update notes, which will be pretty massive for the month of April. I actually thought they wasn't gonna post this one because initially they're like, oh, there's delays and also bug fix. And finally, we'll have the update notes. So what I want to highlight are some of the crucial things that will affect the market and also how the way we play. There's a factor I really want to look into, which would be the update for the South Vern. Now we know there is, considerable content with South Vern, but there have been a message lately, or there have been a message from the official Twitter saying that the Chaos Gate content might not become available. So we'll have a look at this as well, which can be interesting and also affecting the market. So we'll be looking into the market trend lately, why the market trend has been changing, and you can see the price of item on my region of the server. It has been everywhere. It has been going up, it has been going down, and going up and going down. So I want to show you guys some of the items that can still be profitable, and what items we should be careful of, including the skins, the mounts, and also some of the retail materials, because some of those materials can be a little oversupplied. I will have a look at this as well in this video. Now coming over to the official news from Lost Ark Twitter. So initially it was said that the Lost Ark April update was delayed, and then it turns out they was able to fix it. Now that it's fixed, we have the latest update notes. But after the update notes, so update notes was posted during this recording about 4 hours ago, and later there was another post that says things that might not be added to the South Vern. So this can be a little complicated. What I want to do is, I'm sure some of you might have seen the update notes. If you haven't, I will have this available for you guys. I want to highlight a few things that is important from these update notes, and then we'll look into the summaries and also how will this affect the market. So first of all, we know there will be a South Vern content, and this new zone will be available after 1340. What is important to notice over here is this will include the region's Chaos Gate and also normal difficulty of the Chaos Line activity and also the field boss. And this says the South Vern Chaos Dungeon will be added in future update. So this was the first that was mentioned to the players. But if you come over here and have a look at the later official notes, it says the communication was not correct. So it said the field boss and also the Chaos Gate will not be available, it seems. They will also be added in the later content. So if you have remember our previous video on this particular part, we have looked at the content for South Vern. Now by the looks of it, a lot of the South Vern content will not become available on this patch, including the Chaos Dungeons, Chaos Gate, and very likely the bridge or the trials over here with a lot of resource that will not become available on this patch. We'll have a look at the effects of this because the market is reacting quite strongly, and this is one of the reasons. If we come over to the trend over here, you can see there's products that have been falling in price simply because the players are anticipating the update to come with some new content that allows them to progress further into the game. So we'll have a look at this very soon. And the next part is we have the Felton Power Pass, and this will become available for any players who have finished the Felton Main Story Quest wheel. And I think most of us have finished that, right? And there will be something interesting. There will be an express mission, which allows a character to be granted the gears and also to be able to progress to 1000 gear level very quickly, including a lot of resource for tier 1 and also tier 2. So this is definitely something that was designed for new players to catch up and also designed for players to try the new class. So which is quite interesting. Now keep in mind those missions will be around for about 1 to 2 months time by the June 30th. So this is quite interesting, and what's nicer for this is we could save those for the new class for the Destroyer as well. I'm thinking of saving this for Destroyer instead of using on the Glaivier. We'll talk about this as well. And finally, there seems to be a new update of skins. There seems to be a new update of Ark Pass, which have its two features. One of the features will be a free feature, so this one will be available to all players. And then there will be a premium and a super premium pass, which will come with some additional reward like the homing materials, skins, and also different tiers of gems and repelled items, and also pets. So this will cost royal crystals. I believe those are the cash shop currency that has to be paid by money to buy those, and this will be 1500 to 3000 crystals. Because we don't know what's available for the update, we want to calculate the price and also value of those items. What I do is I may be making Excel for you guys to do a calculation to see if the Ark Pass and other items will be worth it to buy in the shops. So I want to do a calculation for you guys. And of course, there is some interesting general updates. So the biggest one is going to be the secret map. Now this will be shared among 4 players. As expected, this is going to be a big deal because this is fasten the pace of players doing mapping and also avoid scammers. And also there is going to be the expansion of the character slots from 12 to 18 because we'll have new classes that's joining the game. So coming over back to our summary notes, we know the update will last for 8 hours. Usually this can be as short as 6 to 7 hours, and this will start at 12 AM server time. So during the recording of this video, the update will come in about 3 hours. And basically the focus of this update will be the new class. Now depending on how much new materials we'll be getting, this will affect the demand of the market, because this will really help the characters to get to 1000 or even close to tier 3. And with the new update of South Vern, I am really not sure what's going to be in South Vern now, because we're expecting a lot of homing materials to come in the content. But if for this month we don't get a lot of content, then players won't be pushing for 1415, and this will reduce the demand of those items. And there is going to be the battle pass we have talked about. We'll talk about the effect of this very soon. The new major features, the quality of life mapping. On our last video, we have talked about how this might crash the market, because a lot of players are saving those maps and they want to use the mapping feature to avoid scammers. But this will group up a lot of players with the highest supply of the items like Solar Grace, Solar Protection, and also Solar Blessing. So before we get into my personal predictions, make sure you guys understand I'm using those based on my server and also region, which is North America West. So please be careful guys and don't follow me blindly. So what is happening this week is we have seen some rising prices and also falling prices, and it's been going up and down for the past few hours. Now there's a lot of factors in play. The anticipation of the new patch, which only came less than 24 hours before the major patch, the notes of those patch. And then there was a message of the delays. So there's a lot of mixed results. There's a delay of the update. There was an official news saying, oh, the patch is going to be delayed, there's major bugs, and then that gets fixed. And then there is saying that we don't have any 1415 Vern content. So because there's a lot of mixed signals given to the players, I don't think the market is reacting too well. You can see the Solar Grace has fallen down to about 33 gold. It was about 35 gold before, and you can see a lot of stocks are stocking up by 35 and also 36 gold. And also Solar Blessings, Solar Protection have been falling because of those mixed signals. Now because we know there will be a new class for the Glaivier, but also players have been more prepared since the roadmap. So this is also a mixed feeling, especially with the Express event, which signals that players will be getting more tier 1 and also tier 2 materials. Some of the players might have enough or more than sufficient materials instead of needing to buy materials after the patch. And finally, what usually happens on Wednesday is players will start to sell items as a panic sale, because they know the weekly reset will reduce the price of a lot of items. And also with the Chaos Gate opening again, and also with the flooding of the maps, items will become much cheaper. So there seems to be a rush sale before the reduction of price. And this is also the result of the tradable exchange items from the shops. So if we come over generally to the current price of items, we can see a small fall of items because before the update. Now it is likely we see some price goes up and some price goes down right after the reset. What we can see is the Guardian Stones, Destruction Stones are likely going to fall even further after the reset of Thursday. So in order to give you guys a better summary, we can come over here to some of my highlights for this week. I do think the skins and also months will see a small fall in price after the update, simply because there will be new skins and new months. One thing to notice is lately the months and also skins have seen a rise in price. So if I have a look over here, this is the Celebrus month and also this is the Flying Nimbus. Those Flying Nimbus have fallen below 40,000 on my server. Now it's back to 64,000. And also the Celebrus month has fallen to about 90,000. Now it's back to 120,000. I do think those items might fall again. And similarly to the pets over here. Those pets has fallen to 4,000 before. Now it's back to about 13,000. So the price of those items still have a profit margin, but at the moment I think they're valued too highly, and with the latest update the price of those items might fall again. Now, as for the items of interest on the market, I still want to look into the tier 2 and also tier 3 pouches, especially the tier 3 pouches, because I do think after 1370 or even get to after 1400, players with their characters and also classes will be needing a lot of pouches. And this is one of the reasons I have been trading and also buying pouches. So I have been selling most of my items. If you saw yesterday's videos, I've actually bought about 50,000 of pouches. I made about 10,000 gold by selling and trading those pouches. At the moment, my only item that I haven't been selling was Solar Grace. So I was thinking the Solar Grace price will go up higher. We'll talk about this very soon. There seems to be a lot higher demand for Solar Grace than I anticipated. Most of the other items I have been able to sell them and make a small profit, especially with the small pouches and also medium pouches. Now, because those pouches are pretty much 500 and 1000, the price of those pouches should reflect. So you can see the small pouches are selling for 36 gold. Ideally, the medium pouch should be selling for 72 gold to reflect that. But sometimes there is an insufficient supply or demand for those items, and you can make a small profit because of the disparity. So at the moment, the small pouches are cheaper than the medium pouches. What I usually do is I usually buy them on the same price. I was buying the small pouches for 32 gold and also buying the medium pouches for 64 gold. And then I was reselling them for 39 gold and also 76 gold. And that's how I made a lot of profit this week. So I do think there's a profit margin to be made on the pouches. Just be careful when you guys get into those, because you do want to monitor your market a little bit, see if it's the same with my region and also my server. Now, as for the lipstones, I do think for the new classes, this will be kind of welcome, and this could be kind of shortage of for the new classes on the first 2 weeks, and we might see the lipstone prices going up. But I generally don't trade lipstones because I always feel like they have a potential to fall down very quickly. But we have seen a rise of lipstones lately, and they're pretty steady. They have risen, so let's come over here. Let's have a look at the lipstones. So if we come over here and have a look at the lipstone prices, so the greater honor lipstones, they have risen from about 100 gold to about 140 gold. It's fallen down to 120 gold now because people are anticipating the latest, the reset of the server, and usually those price falls down a little bit and then it recovers. So there could be market and profit to be made with the lipstones, but personally, I haven't really traded those. The next item of interest is very common. We talk about this a lot, and I've been telling you guys to buy into this. So what I mean by that is, if we come over here to gold and crystals, you can see this have risen pretty dramatically from 300 gold about 2 weeks ago to 350 gold a week ago. Now it's 570 gold from gold to crystals, and notice that this is rising pretty fast. So this is something I do want to highlight. Right now, the price of gold to crystal have risen by 40%. This may be something we should be aware of. I don't recommend buying into the gold to crystals right now because this is an all-time high for those values. But it is hard to predict whether this will keep going up or whether this will fall down again. This really depends on everything else on the server. So if all the items on the server doesn't go up in price, the gold to crystal shouldn't go up in price too highly. But if everything else goes up in price, then the gold to crystal is likely going to stay high. So be aware of this. Last week I was saying, oh guys, buy the gold to crystal. And this week I can't say that because you can see on the map, or you can see on the graph over here, the gold to crystal has risen pretty massively since of last week. Now lately, I have been making some small profit just by flipping the red destruction stones. So what I mean by that is, you can see the red destruction stones are selling for 27 or 28 gold. You can see there's a 14,000 supply on 28 gold. So I have been trying to buy them at a much cheaper rate after daily reset. Sometimes I get them for 22 or 24 gold and sell those at 28 gold. They have fallen slightly, so just to show you guys, they have fallen from about 30 gold to 28 or 26 gold now. So it is likely they will fall again after the reset because everything is tradable and people are buying from the shops. But be careful with flipping the red destruction stones, because although there's a profit margin, you don't want to get too greedy. If you don't sell your items, they might get stuck in your hand. And at the moment, I'm not sure whether they will go back to 30 or maybe they fall back to 25 gold. So buying those below 23 gold may be better saving or maybe a better discount on my server. Finally, as for the items of interest for this week, those will always be the retail materials. This will include Solar Grace, Solar Blessing, and also Solar Protection. One thing I do want to highlight with Solar Grace is, if you have a look at the amount of people listing those items, currently we can't really see after 35 gold, but I do remember there was about 10,000 of supply for Solar Grace. Usually I say the radar materials, Solar Grace, Solar Blessing, and also Solar Protection, they all can go up in price pretty highly. But today I have to say you can see a general fall of those items, especially Solar Grace, because there's too much supply. There's likely going to be more supply with the new maps mechanics with 4 maps, running at once. So I do think those items will continue to fall after the patch, and this might fall even a little further. But because it's a weekend, there's a new patch hype, this might have mixed results. But in the end, I do think those 3 items will see a fall in price, and I'm waiting for them to get even lower. So notice Solar Grace is 32 gold, and average price for the past 5 days is 34 gold. I'm waiting for Solar Grace to get back to 25 gold maybe, and then buy into them. And similarly for Solar Blessing, I'm waiting for Solar Blessing to get to 115 gold or even 100 gold. And for Solar Protection, I'm waiting for this one to get to 180 gold. So I am waiting for those prices to fall even further before buying them, because currently there seems to be too much supply of those items, and I don't recommend trading them too rashly, because we might make a loss. Now hopefully you guys found this video helpful, because my last video I talked about warning you guys about a possible market crash, and right now I think the biggest uncertainty will be, will there be 1415 content? If this is delayed, this will massively affect the market, because no one will be homing for the main account. Yes, people will be buying tier 2 and also tier 3 materials, but the major spending and also demand of the game will come from progressing into the later stage of the game. I'm also progressing very slowly. I haven't really been upgrading my gears much, so I got my weapon to plus 15, I got some gears to plus 14, 17, 14. So the homing guide will be coming out very soon. I want to give you guys a progression guide to do this free to play to 1445 by the patch of Velton. And I'm working on this with different friends to do Excels, to do calculations, to find the cheapest path to do this. So, I'll be making this one very soon, and hopefully this will become more helpful to give you guys more guide to prepare for the content of Velton for the patch of May. Now, if you guys haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, make sure you do so, because we'll be getting a lot of guides, a lot of tips as I discover them, and I love the game. So I want to share as much as I can with you guys, and let's have a great time in Lost Ark as we explore this game and get the most out of it.